Hey, on my Travel Wins podcast today, I'm lucky to have Raquel McNabb. How are you today, Raquel?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Doing great, Raquel. Pleasure to talk to you. You're the founder of the Caris Sports Foundation,
Yes.
which is a wonderful organization. I was really excited to talk to you because I just realized you just started the Scholarship Foundations a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
how's it going?
Foundations. Well, it's been in the works for, probably close to a year now.
Yeah, sure.
So we've kind of been in fundraising mode the last probably 5 or 6 months, and officially launched the beginning of November, and officially taking applications January 1. So brand new, excited, getting ready to help a lot of kids.
So what exactly does the Caris Sports Foundation provide for the kids?
It's basically very simple. Kids apply to us for scholarships to help them play sports. It can be recreational sports, youth sports, club sports, travel sports, needs they have within their sport, like travel, equipment, those types of things. So they fill out the application, we review it, we vet the organizations, and if it works on both sides, then we try and help these kids.
Perfect. Which, as a parent myself of 2 athletic children, I can totally appreciate that.
Youth sports has gotten very expensive, very expensive.
It was almost to the ridiculous point with soccer.
Yeah, it really is. And the amount of travel that a lot of club teams want to do with children now. I have an 11-year-old son, and we're already traveling with him. You know, his schedule this year we have about 3 California trips. We have Texas, Orlando, and he's 11. I have a 15-year-old, and we'll be in Pennsylvania this year, probably California 4 or 5 times this year. We'll head to Indianapolis. We'll do Vegas. We will do Atlanta. So that's what our schedule looks like with these kids.
I know. My daughter's best friend growing up was a really, really high-level soccer player.
Mm-hmm.
And she was on her club team. She was on the junior Olympic developmental team and all that. And I talked to her one time in front of her house. I'm like, hey, Sam, what's going on? I go, so how much are you on the road? And she starts thinking, and she goes, it'd be easier for me to tell you when I'm home.
Yes, very true.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we actually traveled with my daughter's high school team to Orlando this year over the Christmas break. So it's constant. It's a lot of travel. The kids love it. It's taxing on the parents, both financially and time-wise. But, you know, we do what we do for our kids. And, you know, end result, you hope they accomplish all their goals. So as parents, we just suck it up.
Well, you're married to Donovan McNabb.
Yes.
But it's just my opinion. Your side of the family is a little bit more athletic.
Yeah. He likes to take credit for some of it, but it's really my family.
I was going to say, you got Olympians on your side of the family.
Yes. See, and we do.
Pro basketball players and pro hockey players. And
we
kind of got a few over on him.
We started him young in our family.
Well, but it goes to show that you know the importance of sports and how it can affect and mold children.
Absolutely.
Into their adult life.
Yeah, absolutely. I think in our family, and Donovan and I have been together since we were in college, so all my nieces and nephews who are now professional athletes and Olympians, they saw what we were doing in college, and Donovan is a great mentor to them now. Like, they'll call him for things. They bypass me now, and they're like, well, what do you think of this? You know, there'll be things that come up with their agents or marketing and that type of thing, and they immediately call him. So it's great that they have him for those things. But, you know, he was supporting them where they were little kids on the ice. He's like, you know, he knew nothing about hockey. He now is a huge hockey fan because, you know, he was going to see his 5-year-old niece and nephew play hockey. And so it was, you know, it was great for them. They really had no clue how famous he was, I don't think. But it's, you know, it's good.
But that's to me, that's kind of the balance of sports. Like, I never knew anything about lacrosse until both my daughters decided they want to start playing in high school.
You got a crash course.
Yeah, and then some. And when they played a little bit in college, it was like, oh, this is like next level.
Yeah.
You know, And but because of I've always believed, and I played sports growing up, obviously. Well, not obviously, I guess, but I played sports from the age of 7 all the way through high school, and it gives you how to build friendships, how to build team, how to
Mm-hmm.
respect for your coaches.
Yep.
So
it teaches you so much about just life. You learn it through sports, just through the challenges you go through, the highs, the lows. You know, it just teaches you how to handle situations and handle it, you know, with dignity and grace. That's, I think, one of the biggest things that I learned from sport. You know, you sometimes just can't wear your emotions on your sleeve when things go wrong. It's like, how are we going to handle this? How are we going to fight through this? And I think that is such a big lesson learned from sports.
Well, and it's got to be interesting for you because you were no slouch in basketball.
I played a little bit.
Get out of here.
Played a little bit.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I actually, growing up, my family was a big proponent of multi-sport athletes.
Yeah. So
I played basketball, I played soccer, I played volleyball, I ran track all through high school. So my parents kept us busy. The busier you were, the less trouble you could get into. And so I'm basically doing the same thing with my own kids. They look at me like, do we have to go to that? Yeah, we're going to do that.
Yes.
So we keep them busy. So,
no, I hear
you.
Now, you have 4 children.
Yes.
I think the oldest, 15?
Yeah, 15 twins, boy-girl twins that are 11, and then a 10-year-old.
I mean, that you're in the heart of sports world right now.
Oh, yeah. We soccer on Saturdays. I probably will leave my house at 7 in the morning. Probably won't get home till about 5 or 6. And that's just with soccer. I've got 1 in soccer right now, 2 in basketball, 1 in softball. And then I got a house league going on that I'm running right now. So we're out of the house. Weekends are a wash. Yeah.
But I was going to ask you, the Caris Sports Foundation is a great thing. Mm-hmm. But what kind of conversations did you have with Donovan about? I mean, you're already busy.
Mm-hmm.
So starting a foundation, you know, with your non-existent free time, what kind of conversation did that happen?
Well, Donovan, he's usually like, just lets me run with things. His first question is usually like, what is this going to cost me?
Yeah, sure.
But he's like, if this is something you're passionate about, then let's do it. And he's all on board with it because he actually helps coach with my daughter's club team. So he sees a lot of the challenges that families face, just in paying to play and then the travel costs associated with it. So he gets it. He understands that how taxing it is on families. Parents will spend all this money, to send their kids off for the summer. They don't get to see them play a lot of times because they can't afford to travel because they've put everything into those kids. So he understands the financial burden of sports. And so he's like, this is something necessary.
Yeah, totally agree.
So he gets it. So, because there's been times in our organization where we've had kids who've made the teams and it's like, we don't think we can swing it. So a lot of times you'll have a few parents who write a check and say, hey, here, we'll cover that kid. We'll cover this kid's travel. So we see those things all the time. And then you get to see the joy of it because we've had kids who've never been on an airplane before.
Yeah.
Who's, we play in California. They've never seen the ocean before. We're 5 hours from California, but we get to give them that opportunity. Yeah. So a lot of times through sport opens up so many things for kids. I know when I was playing, basketball took me around the world. I may not have had that opportunity. I came from a family of 8 kids. So my parents couldn't be like, hey, go take a gap year and travel. They're like, no, you need a scholarship. You need to get a scholarship. And then you can travel the world with that. And that's how I saw the world initially. Things are a little bit different now, but early on, that's how I traveled through sport.
That was all. Well, I'm always amazed at the kids now because I think that the world is a lot smaller. Mm-hmm. And it just seems like it's easier to travel now. It
is. My kids, they don't know what not traveling is.
Yeah, exactly.
But I started traveling them when they, my daughter was probably about 8 weeks old. My family lives in Canada. So I was like, let's go visit the grandparents. My kids just know how to go travel. They know how to go through, Precheck, TSA, all that good stuff. Because I'm a firm believer in, we're not going to sit here and not do anything. We're going to get out and go. Let's go see the world. So I love to travel.
That's the exciting part.
Yeah.
So now that Caris is I want to say Caris Sports Foundation because I know there's a different one, but it's in Arizona only now, correct?
Yeah. So currently we're just in Arizona. My dream and goal will be to branch out to different states where we see a need or where we're connected. Ideally, I'd like to go to Pennsylvania, Illinois, places where we have community. Those would probably be my next places to branch out to, and then eventually be in all the states.
And within that, I mean, a lot of you can do over the phone, but you're going to have to go to those states.
Oh, absolutely.
And then, well, like I said, you have 4 kids, you got a husband, you got soccer programs, you got all the different sports programs.
Yeah.
You're piling on that plate pretty nicely. I like it.
Yeah, I like to keep busy. I think that's just part of, being so active growing up, that I just continue to do things and be busy, and I don't know any different, probably. Yeah.
Well, how do you balance, because if you start traveling more and more, because Caris could really take off.
Yeah, I think the balance, Donovan and I try and work with one gone, one home. We have people that help out, like aunts. I have some sisters that'll come in. I have, a really good babysitter here that helps with everything. She's been, with our kids since they were she's been with us for like 9 years. So I've got a great child care system. So, but we really try and do one parent home, one parent gone, just so that we have enough drivers, first of all, to drive them everywhere. And I just think kids need to kind of have someone at home all the time that hold them accountable and that type of thing. So we try and balance that. It gets a little hard sometimes because, when my son travels or my daughter travels, a lot of times we both want to go, and the little kids, they're like, we don't want to go sit in the gym and watch games. So that gets a little hard sometimes. But summertime, usually we go visit grandparents for a couple of days while mom and dad go support this one, or, so we try and balance that. But he's very supportive of what I'm doing with Caris, so he gets, if I say, hey, I'm, going to this conference, I'm going to go do this, I got to learn about this. I've had to really step back and just almost go back to school and learning so many things. It's been a long time.
See, that was my next question, because I started this podcast going, all of a sudden it's like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I started, it wasn't like, I just thought, we'll just do this. We'll be up and running in a month. No, it took a long time because there was so much I had to learn just with the technology, the websites, the social media. The social media, to me, is probably one of the hardest things we've had to navigate.
Yeah.
So just, it's a whole new world that we're
in. And then all the I guess the legal restrictions or requirements of being a 501c and all that.
That too. It's been a crash course in a lot of things for us, accounting and But I'm enjoying it. It's awesome, and I know we're doing a great thing, so I'm all in it.
That's exactly how I feel about the podcast because, like I said, I have my day job, and so I'm calling my daughter is 24, going, hey, how do I do website design? And she's like, okay, go to YouTube. Here's the videos I found for you. I'm like, okay.
Well, that's the thing. The younger kids, they're just like, just do this. I'm like, hey, slow down, back up.
Yeah.
Start at the beginning.
I'm like, Allie, I need an app for this. I need this. And she's like, okay. And she'll just go on her phone while we're talking. And she goes, okay, write this down. We're like, oh, my God.
Yeah. So unattached, but, hey, it's, it's learning, and it's fun. It's been a lot of fun. I'm just looking forward to what we can do.
With the next, so you're talking Pennsylvania and Illinois, right?
Mm-hmm.
Will you end up setting up, are you looking for, because I know you have the 3 other ladies there that help you, they're founders, or I don't know how you.
Yes, founders.
Founders, right? Yeah. Are you looking for the same thing in those states as well?
We will eventually look for help in those states. I think we would want to continue running what we do, and that would kind of just be a satellite. Because what we do, we could really do it anywhere. So we're set up shop here in Arizona and just work in those states. Everything's electronic now anyway.
Yeah.
So
I guess it would be, because I've seen that you've done some local TV and local TV spots and all that, so that's got to help get the word out.
So, and we've had actually donors. A lot of our donors have come in from throughout the country who, believe in what we're doing, and people have asked, will you be coming to other states? So we're looking forward to do that. Like, we know there's definitely need everywhere. So we're excited about what Caris will be able to do in the future.
Yeah, I mean, you can get some merch and you can start doing there's a lot of things you can do with it.
Yeah, yes. Looking
What's
forward.
Well, let me ask you this question. And I probably know the answer because you have 4 children, but when you travel, how do you fill up your time?
On the airplanes or?
Yeah, if you're on the airplane or you're driving in a car, do you guys listen to music? Are you getting schoolwork done?
It all depends on when we travel. If I take them out of school, our school is very good at giving them a work packet, which my kids hate. But as soon as we get on the plane or in the car, I'm always like, it's easier on the plane to get them to do the work. I find if they're in the car and I'm like, okay, read, I'll turn around 2 seconds later and everybody's knocked out. But on the plane, it's a little bit easier. So we do, you do schoolwork. They have to do schoolwork for the first, depending on the length of the flight, they'll do schoolwork. And then they'll do iPads. What I do with their iPads is I'll take everybody's iPads before we travel and I'll put on some new games. They'll get a new movie, so it's something that's going to keep them occupied. Then we play games. They like that little caboodle game, play cards. I like to nap on the plane, but, the kids, they stay up most flights, and that's what they'll do. They'll, play games, do work. They'll read a little bit. I keep them occupied. So I kind of give them a little schedule on the plane. Then they have their little bag of snacks that they get to pick their snacks that they like. And I just keep them. They all have travel backpacks. So we travel a lot. So a travel backpack is separate from the school backpack. And it'll have their headphones in it and everything else. And they're very good travelers. I think they've just been doing it for so long. They're just get on the plane. Yeah. They have certain airlines they like and some they don't. It's kind of funny. They'll ask you, so what airline are we flying? I'm like, really? Just get on the plane. Does this one have the TVs? I'm like, just get the plane. But they're quite funny.
Because my wife doesn't travel that much, she's the same way. She's like, well, what airline are we taking? What plane are we taking? I'm like, get on the plane. Like, that's
why I was like, kids. I'm like, first world problems. Get on the plane.
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to be able to charge my phone. It's like, you'll survive.
Yeah. So,
have you ever, well, you might not be there, but I always try to talk to my daughters now. It's like, go back 20 years ago, you didn't have a cell phone.
No.
So when you traveled, it was like you showed up at the airport, and then you found out your flight was 2.5 hours late.
Yes, it's true.
And then
even like a long flight.
Yeah, you would read the Skyway magazine like 3 times and try not to buy stuff you don't need.
Yeah, it's true. The long flights, you didn't have. I remember flying to Australia in college, and I think we had a Walkman. So you walked around with a bunch of batteries because you didn't have enough batteries to last the whole flight. So you read, you listened to your Walkman, and that was it. You could watch anything.
The little foam cushion headphones.
Yeah.
That all your friends could hear what you're listening to.
Yeah, absolutely. So these kids, they have no clue how good they have it traveling.
Yeah. And just Google. I mean, I came back last night from Denver, and I'm watching John Wick, and then I watched the end of the live football game, and
it's just amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's the beauty of travel. Yeah. We talked a little bit earlier. What are your thoughts on TSA Pre?
I love it. I absolutely love it. I was saying I had to renew it last night. I'm like, I will absolutely make sure I renew this all the time because the lines at the airport are getting so long. Yeah. And it's like, if you're running late, you might not make your flight because it's long. You got to take everything off. And, I always beep for some reason. So I love TSA Precheck. My husband has it. I had to get it for my 15-year-old because she aged out of doing it with us. So I made sure she got hers. So everyone in our family has TSA Precheck because it is absolutely necessary. I kind of get a little angry when I get to the airport and it's not available. I'm kind of like, what do you mean you don't have TSA Precheck?
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, and then they've had times when they've shut down the TSA Pre and you have to go on the regular line.
I do a lot of red eyes, and so sometimes I'll get into the airport and they're like, oh, we just shut it down. I'm like, oh, no.
Oh, no, you didn't. I tell everybody that travels, if they're doing more than 1 or 2 flights a year, to you get it. It's so worth
Yeah.
it. And it's not that expensive. It's just,
No,
got to do it.
Yeah. Yep. I did mine yesterday, renewed it, so to make sure. Because it's a hassle.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you so much for the time. What's the best way for people, and my listeners, to see what's going on with the Caris Sports Foundation and Raquel McNabb?
They can go to our website. It's carisportsfoundation.org. And we're on all social media, Caris Sports Foundation. And all our information's up there. We're a very transparent organization as to what we do. And people can just go see. And, you know, we have a YouTube channel where you could see, we have a video on there that my husband speaks on, a couple other athletes speak, and we have some kids and some parents. And, you know, you get a real understanding of what we do as an organization.
And you want to reach out to donors and also the kids that want to apply.
Absolutely. So we want people to see what we're doing, and hopefully it pulls at their heartstrings and they want to donate. And we want, you know, people who are in need to be able to see what we do. We just got an application in and somebody saw us on the news, and so he applied. I'm like, that's super cool. I didn't think anybody was, you know, that early in the morning. So I was like, oh, that's cool.
You just never know. I mean,
you never know. So anybody that, you know, sees us, and even if they don't need it, if they mention it to someone else, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you know, I was born in Phoenix and lived in Scottsdale till I was about 10.
Mm-hmm.
And I still have aunts and uncles and cousins that live there. So.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely get the word out in Arizona for now.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So, appreciate the time. I'm going to let you go enjoy your few hours off.
Yes.
Before the kids come home.
Yeah. Yes. I have to go prepare for them to come home.
Exactly.
Well, thank you for having me on.
I appreciate it. Have a great week and great 2020.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. You too.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.